If I had to get rid of all of my synths except 5, which 5 would I keep and why? That is what we're gonna talk about in today's video. And to have a bit of fun, let's make a little bit of a game out of it. So I will give you 5 hints as to which 5 synths I will keep, and you can pause the video and write a comment which 5 synths you think I would never sell. And once you've watched all of the video, you can actually go and edit the comment and let us know how many you got right or why you got something wrong. I think this can be a fun little game that we can play. And here are the 5 hints. There's the obvious one, the synth that should be obvious to anyone who has followed the channel for some time. There is a drum machine on the list that is a future classic. And the number 3 is the synth pick that will trigger Synthesizer Reddit a lot. Yeah, let's just call it a controversial pick. And number 4 is the best designed digital synth, according to me. And number 5 is a massive polysynth. Write a comment with your guesses, and while you're at it, write your 5 synths that you would never sell. And while you are writing a comment, I will talk a bit about today's sponsor, DistroKid. So if you want to upload your music to Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, and other relevant stores, check out DistroKid. It's a fast and affordable way of getting your music onto streaming services and online stores. And while you're leaving a comment, check the description of the video. I got a link there, and if you use my link to DistroKid, you get a discount and you also support the channel. My first pick is actually the least exciting and the most obvious, and it should be obvious to anybody who has been following the channel for some time, and that is the Minilogue. Not the XD, which I actually like better in some ways, but I'm picking the original Minilogue. Just give this a listen and notice how the Minilogue is cutting through in an interesting way. It's almost harsh, but also very distinct. It's my most used synth, and the reason I would keep it is the same reason I don't recommend it to people that often. It is because it has a very peculiar sound. The result is often a slightly harsher, more metallic sound, which doesn't really sound digital, rather it just sounds unique, and it often stands out a bit in a mix. And frankly, the Minilogue XD is a better option for most people, but I would keep the original Minilogue. Next up, let's talk drums. So drum machines aren't something that I'm hugely excited by, but there is one drum machine that I would never sell. It's a future classic, according to me, and yeah, it's drum roll, the Pulsar 23. So I'm gonna try and show you why the Pulsar 23 is magical, but I'm not saying that it's for everyone. So the first thing I do is make sure I've connected this pin here to the looper reset, and then I connect here to the trig input of the hi-hat to get a sort of metronome. I mean, what's not to love about this? And when you get bored, you just delete it from the looper. It's gone forever, and we just have this annoying metronome clingy-clangy thing here, and we can do something else. And I think what I like a lot about it is something that is maybe a red thread in today's video. It's that it's quite imprecise. It's kind of the total opposite of like an electron device where you can get really granular with things and make it super precise. The looper, which was the thing I didn't like when I first reviewed it, is now the thing that I really like. There is actually a bit of backstory to my Pulsar journey. So I first saw the Pulsar 23 at Superbooth 2019, which was also the first year I went to Superbooth, and there was so much going on. And there was this orange drum machine, and I got to sit down with it and demo it, and it just blew me away. And I loved it from first sound. It was just such an incredible machine. And later on I got to review it, and I think you can see in that video that I really enjoyed my time with it. Okay, this pick will trigger a lot of people. So yeah, sit down, make sure you're sitting down, make sure you have a sip of the coffee. And the therapist in me wants to encourage you all to just breathe. It's just synths we're talking about here. You need to breathe because, yeah, my next pick is the OP1 Field.
Ooh!
And here's just I just sat down and I made a little thing here, started with this electric piano. Nothing fancy, and I just started layering stuff on top of it. Just started to build up a little something. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think it just shows that whenever I sit down with it, something kind of unexpected or beautiful tend to happen. Yeah, okay, so before anybody calls me a teenage engineering shill, I don't really work with them. I think they sent over like a pocket operator many years ago. But let me address the elephant in the room. The price of the OP1 Field is a bit ridiculous. Even if I got mine on a sale, I think it was $1,500. I think it's still too much. But two things can be true at the same time. The price can be ridiculous, and it can still be one of the most inspiring and fun devices that I own. It's also super frustrating, so three things are true at one time. Okay, so this far in the video, how many points do you have? How many things did you get right, and how many things did you get wrong so far? I'm really curious to read the comments. When it comes to digital synths, I have tried many, and while there are several which sounds fantastic, I think that this next synth beats all of them, and that is the Hydra synth. Most importantly, the build quality is just exceptional. It's a 10 out of 10 compared, for example, to Korg's digital synths. There is really no competition. Secondly, the workflow is great. I have said it before and I will say it again. The multiple small screens make this synth so much more fun to use. And I think that's partly why it's a keeper for me. It's just a very fun synthesizer to use. And I mean, since software sounds really good, it's all about the workflow, how it feels to use for me when it comes to hardware synths. Now, before I reveal the next synth that I would never sell, here's a word from today's sponsor, DistroKid. Releasing your music shouldn't be difficult, and using DistroKid is super easy and is a fast and reliable way of getting your tracks onto Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and other relevant stores. And one thing that I really like is that you pay once a year and then you can upload unlimited amounts of music. One feature that I really like is the hyperfollow feature. So when you've uploaded your music, you get a custom page. DistroKid does this automatically. On that page are links to where people can find your music in different stores. You can just share that one link instead of sharing like multiple links to different stores. So it's just a place where everything's gathered. So if you want to go and check out DistroKid, use my link in the description. You not only support my channel, but you also get a discount. So go and check it out. So what about that big polysynth? Well, it shouldn't be much of a surprise. I have used original Polybrute since it came out, and now that I have the Polybrute 12 in the studio, yeah, what can I say? It's just a fantastic sounding synth and it's a joy to use. And here's one of my favorite sounds. What I really like about the Polybrute is how expressive it can get. So with this sound here, the more you press down the key, the more intense it kind of gets. And if we take a quick glance here at the mod matrix, when you go here from presets to mod, we can see at a glance what's going on, what is routed where. And yeah, it's just easy to understand what's going on and it's easy to set up. If I want to route something, I just press the button here, turn the knob, and yeah, it's very quick. And while there are many fantastic analog polysynths out there, I think we definitely live in a golden age of synths. There are so many great analog polysynths to choose from. But the main thing, the main draw for me with the Polybrute 12 is the physical mod matrix. I think that this is the only analog polysynth with this sort of physical mod matrix anyway. And it makes creating modulation routings much quicker and easier, and you can actually see the routings in a much more visible way just at a glance. And I think that that is just such a huge draw in addition to a great sound. So yeah, that's why it's a keeper for me. I think I'll always have a Polybrute in my studio. So those were the 5 synths that I would never sell and why. And I'm super curious, how many did you get right? And if you missed some of them, perhaps there's a reason why, you can drop a comment down below and explaining why you didn't get 5 right. No, but seriously, thank you so much for being here, for taking part in this little challenge or this little game of mine. And yeah, I hope to see you in future videos. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you all later.